So, hello everyone. My name is Jaimy. I'm from the Netherlands. I'm part of WISE. And today, I'm going to try to shift your mind about how you think about growth. When I think about growth, I think about the word abundance. And I really like this work of art because it has the word dance in it. And obviously, at TechChill, we love to dance. But also, abundance stands for all good things in life. For plentifulness, for prosperity, for infinity. And I truly get this word abundance when I'm sailing. The Netherlands is a country with a lot of water, so I've been making quite some sailing trips. And you experience abundance in water, abundance in space, and most of the time abundance in wind as well. And in contrast to this abundance, you can only take a limited amount of resources with you in order to be as light and fast as possible. So what you can take with you is what you have. And a picture that illustrates this in a bigger perspective is this one, Earthrise. It was taken by the mission photographer of Apollo 2. And this was taken on the night on Christmas Eve, 1968. And it became the first picture ever of Earthrise. It is a picture that has a huge impact on how we see the planet. Because we can see the planet as a closed system, a spaceship Earth, as a fragile oasis. And I think that how humans treat the Earth is alarming. At this moment, we are using up nature's resources 1.7 times faster than we can actually regenerate them. And we have a good benchmark to measure this. It's called the Earth Overshoot Day. And this is the day that we exhausted nature's budget for that year. So in 2018, this was August 1. And as we are using more and more resources, this day is becoming sooner and sooner every year. And to add a positive note, since 2011, this day hasn't moved much. So I really think we can reverse this trend. And the good thing about this model is that we also can apply this on organizations and individuals. So I would like to challenge you to type in this link or save it for later. And then you can do a test and you can see how many planets does it take to support your lifestyle. And I was actually quite surprised by the amount of planets I was using. And this framework is made by Barbette Porcelein. She's the author of the book The Hidden Impact. And she also gives some very, very valuable tips how you can minimize your impact. So one of the key drivers for growth is the ever-growing middle class. At this point, we have 2 billion people living in the middle class. But in 2030, we will have 4.9 people living in this middle class. And this will drive enormous amounts of consumption and production. And this will have its effect and its impact on deforestation, water use, and for example, the extinction of species. So this is very alarming to me, and I think it comes to no surprise that we will face huge resource scarcity in the second half of this century. So for example, if you are a kid nowadays, you will have to face all these challenges. And for us as tech lovers, for example, the supply of lithium, a very important resource for laptops and iPads and iPhones, will be run out in 11 years. So of course, all those resources won't leave the planet, but the access to the resources will become harder and harder. So I think that countries will face a major challenge to get access to those materials and thereby becoming more dependent on these kind of resources. And I think how we design our current linear economy is very strange. We extract, we process, we consume, and then we will throw the products and the materials away. We will put them into landfills. And although the linear economy has brought us a lot, don't forget that. I think it's time to shift to another model. I think it's time to shift to a circular economy. If we want to continue our prosperity, if we want to save food, if we want to secure energy, we have to go to a sustainable model. And I found a solution in the circular economy. So I want to tell you about the transition towards this circular economy. The linear economy is all about take, make, and dispose. The circular economy is about make, use, and return. And by doing so, preventing waste and making products and materials more efficient, make them suitable for maintenance and make them suitable for repair, and thereby decouple economic growth from the use of natural resources. And I think this is the solution for the major challenges we are facing. I think this will be the framework for a lot of new revenue models that we can use in the future. So I would like to elaborate a little bit on that in terms of value. So if you see the linear current day economy, you will see this, that we are on the left building up value in every step. And then we will have a short use phase. And after this phase, we will destruct the value. And this creates an incentive for producers to design products that have a relative short lifespan, because they want to sell as many products as possible. In the circular value hill, we want to preserve value. So we want to make the use phase as long as possible. We want to make it suitable for maintenance and repair. And if we need new products, we want to extract them in a sustainable way. And if the products after the use phase are going to their downhill move, we need strategies like reuse, refurbish, remanufacture, and in the end, recycling, to keep the value of the products and materials as long as possible. So it's very important to say that circularity is not recycling 2.0. Because, for example, if you have an iPhone and you will recycle it, you will only have a value of 0.20%. But if you reuse an iPhone, you will have a value of 48%. So this is very important. And it's becoming, the circular economy, an increasingly well-known concept. As you can see at the reports behind me, but only 9% of our world is circular at this moment. So we have a big opportunity in terms of the impact we can have on climate change, a big opportunity in terms of a new business model. So if we see it in terms of climate change, research shows that the circular economy strategies may deliver emission reductions that cut the 1.5 emission gap into half. So circular economy can have a major impact on a positive impact on climate change. And if you see it in a business perspective, we see that it's becoming a major opportunity as well. So we used to see sustainability as a necessary evil, and most of the time we see it as a burden. But actually, in circularity, according to this Accenture report, it's a major opportunity. It's an opportunity of $5 trillion So I will show you 5 circular revenue models that you can apply in your organization, your corporate, your startups, and that can work for you. And I want to start with this story about this light bulb. This light bulb was placed by the local fire department of a small American town in '91. And it has been burning ever since. So this is the longest burning light bulb. And it is in the Guinness Book of Records. And there are even cameras placed in 2001 to monitor the light bulb. And the webcams are already replaced 3 times, but the light bulb is still burning. So this strikes my mind. How is it possible that people back then could design a light bulb that could burn for 1 million hours? And why aren't we able, with current day technology, to design light bulbs like this? Why do we design light bulbs that burn for 1,000 hours or 10,000 hours? And this will bring us to our first circular revenue model, product as a service. So behind me on the screen, you see Schiphol Airport, the biggest airport of the Netherlands, and you see lights of Philips Lighting. And Philips was inspired by the concept of the circular economy. And they thought, okay, people don't need lights or lamps, but they need access to lights. So what they did is they made this product as a service possible, and the retained owner of the lights, they receive monthly payments for the use of the lights and the maintenance of the lights. And if one of the lights were breaking down, they make sure that they will get repaired. So this is an incentive to make the best quality of lights and to make the product life, and that's very important in terms of circularity, of the lights as long as possible. So who of you has an iPhone? And who of you has been using the same iPhone for 3 years? I see some hands going down. And this is exactly the opportunity for the second circular revenue model. It's the extending product life model. On the screen behind me, you see a startup called Fairphone. And what they do is they make ethical modular phones. So the phones are made of several parts, and they are easy to replace and easy to repair. And when something breaks, you can easily fix it yourself. Or if they have an update, you can easily just put a new camera or a new battery in it, and thereby extending the product life. So I've been also working in the construction area on this topic, and a lot of people are looking into modular construction as well. So making buildings out of big Lego blocks. It's very interesting as well. So this car is parked 95% of its time. And this brings us to the third circular revenue model. And it's the platform model. And this is all about the sharing economy. Because existing products can be more available, we can make existing products more available to a wider audience, and thereby we need fewer products. And this perfectly fits into the philosophy of the circular economy. So already in the automotive industry, we have some good examples of startups who are looking into this, like Snapcar, BlaBlaCar, and Car2Go. As you all know, plastic waste is one of the biggest waste streams in the world. And this will bring us to the next circular revenue model, and it's the circular input model. And this is a business model within the circular economy that is very interesting, because it's all about biological innovation. And for example, this company called Mone, they were able to make cups out of beetroot, sugar beets, instead of plastics, and thereby gaining a huge competitive advantage over companies that still using plastic cups, because I'm sure we will all have to face a plastic ban. And then it will be a huge advantage if you look at biological innovations like they do, making it also biodegradable and thereby completely circular. So the last circular revenue model is about waste, value out of waste. So this is a ghost net, and we have a lot of ghost nets in the oceans. And this company called Interface Floors saw a huge opportunity in this waste stream. They saw a traditional cost item, waste, as a new revenue item, a resource. They buy discarded fishing nets, and the nets are recycled into new yarn for new carpets, creating benefits for the local communities because they pay the fishermen not only to fish, but also to fish ghost nets. And they need less virgin materials. So we have a lot of different circular business models, and already a few companies are looking into this, big corporates, but also a few startups, and I think this is really interesting. What's also very interesting is the role of digitization. And as we are here at TechChill with a lot of tech lovers, I'm happy to tell you that digitization will be a key enabler for making the transition towards a circular economy. For example, companies like Netflix, Dropbox, and Spotify are huge enablers to replace physical products like CDs, DVDs, and local storage by streaming services. And that fits into the philosophy of the circular economy, the philosophy of dematerialization. And a great example of this is Madaster. Madaster is a startup from the Netherlands, and they thought, okay, why don't we make materials more important? You only have an identity as a person if you have a passport. Why don't we make material passports? So they are able to upload entire buildings into their system and track every item in the building, give the materials an identity, so you know exactly where they came from, of what materials they are made of, and at what value they are in every step. So after the use phase of the building, you will have a complete new material depot, and you can give all these materials a second chance, and thereby reframing waste into a resource, and thereby making urban mining possible and becoming less dependent on our resources. So we have a wide range of digital enablers for the circular economy, and they will not solve all challenges and requirements we need in terms of circularity, but they will be a tool to make it easier and cost-effective. And I think it's important to say that we don't need to prescribe too much. If we want to make this circular transition happen, we need entrepreneurs and creative people like you. I think it's important that we don't say, like, okay, you may not do this or you may not do that, but we need people who love tech and have a creative mind and want to design new business models that are sustainable. So in terms of a circular route, I think it's important that we have to make it important before it becomes urgent. We need innovation and efficiency go hand in hand with circularity. We have to see it as an organizational change. It has to be part of the whole business strategy. And we need ambassadors, leadership. And thereby we can really make a big impact. So, I think the momentum is here. I hope I have inspired you with some of these circular principles, and I hope you can apply it to your business. And by doing so, I think we can sail into a bright future. I wish you a pleasant journey. Thanks.